TZ Vaughn Savage and J Lava is in a fucking building with the Keep It P podcast, motherfucker.
Vaughn Savage and J Lava on the new podcast. They Keep It P podcast, where they take news, situations, and everyday occurrences and show how one could or could not be keeping it P.
I'm keep it P. As a matter of fact, keep it P, but then again, keep it PG, PE. Alright, it's Professor Griff. I'm out of here.
B1 to the family. This is Kendra Blackwood with Hold the Mayo, the segment where I bust down and expose the lies in these here articles. But before I get started, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, the Hot Lava Music TV YouTube channel, Vaughn Savage Media YouTube channel, and all the channels on the network. And with that being said, South Dakota AG no-shows sentencing hearing where he got no jail time after killing a man in car crash. The victim's family called him cowardly. Indeed, he is killing citizens and not being held accountable for it. Go figure. But anyway, it goes on to say, South Dakota Attorney General Jason Ravnsborg, R., on Thursday pleaded no contest 2 of the 3 misdemeanor charges related to a deadly nighttime crash which killed a man east of Highmore, SD, on September 12, 2020. Ravnsborg's ultimate punishment is a series of 2 $500 fines and about $3,700 in court costs. He will serve no jail time despite the underlying statute authorizing a potential of 30 days in jail for each 2 of the 2 offenses. This is certainly a misuse of power and a misuse of justice. He just deserves to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Anyway, after that, family of Joseph Bover, the 55-year-old man who died in the crash, slammed Ravnsborg as a coward. Ravnsborg's defense attorney Timothy Wrench called them out for treating this like a homicide case when no such charge has been brought. Accidents happen, Wrench said at one point during his arguments for as light a punishment as the law could possibly afford for Ravnsborg. People die. It happens. The defense attorney at times seemed to criticize the victim's family for demanding a harsher punishment. He said the family's view of the incident legally didn't fit the facts of the case and therefore was wrong. Ravnsborg was not personally present. He appeared through Wrench via a power of attorney approved by the judge. Wrench noted that defendants in South Dakota misdemeanor cases have a legal right not to appear personally and that his client should have the same rights as any other person in South Dakota in that regard. The judge suggested at the initiation of the proceeding that it was highly unlikely that the state's highest law enforcement officer would serve even a single day behind bars in connection with the deadly crash which left Bover's body by the side of the road for hours before it was discovered. I don't think a jail sentence in the context of this case would have had a particular disciplinary benefit, the judge said at the initiating of the Thursday sentencing proceeding. The judge also noted that his review of Bover's medical records turned up nothing relevant toward the proceeding and would not factor into the matter. Citing one of Bover's relatives, Wrench had suggested that Bover was a depressed alcoholic and possibly suicidal and demanded to see the victim's data. Other relatives harshly disagreed with the characterization of the victim, and the judge ultimately rubbished Wrench's attempt to see the man's files. Ravnsborg pleaded no contest to charges of operating a vehicle while using a mobile electronic device and for improperly changing lanes. The state agreed to dismiss the 3rd count of careless driving as part of the deal. The state said it would also remain silent as to the defendant's request for a suspended sentence. In other words, prosecutors could have fought it and demanded jail time. They didn't. Prosecutors indicated that Ravnsborg was reading conspiracy theory political blogs and weather apps prior to the crash. He was clearly outside of his lane of traffic when he struck Bover, the state reiterated. The facts have been everywhere, the prosecutor noted. This case has been very publicly played out, there has been political underpinnings, there has been more information spilled out in this case I would say probably than any other case I have witnessed in my 20 years of practicing law. For the family of Joe Bover, my condolences sincerely go to them. I know the recompense they seek cannot be given in this court today, the prosecutor said regarding Bover's family. I know they're frustrated with the process, and to all of them I am very sorry for the loss they have endured. The state suggested that Ravnsborg should be ordered to help educate young drivers about the dangers of driving while using a cell phone. He's in a wonderful position to be able to do some of that education, the prosecutor continued, and I think that would be very appropriate for the court to consider in this case. Albeit misdemeanor charges, the worst possible and harshest possible result occurred, the state said while noting that Bover died at the hands of the Attorney General. We are dealing with what has been a horrific year for a lot of people. The state backed requests by the Bover family for Ravnsborg to pay the victim's funeral expenses and other court-related costs. It's minimal in comparison to the emotional loss that she has endured. the prosecutor said while referencing a written request to the court from the victim's family. Several members of Bover's family told the judge that they were outraged at the thought of the AG serving no jail time. "We have waited 349 long days for this case to come to an end, and this is not the end we hoped for or expected," said Jane Bover, the victim's sister. "Our brother laid in the ditch for almost 12 hours before his body was discovered," she said. "This is inexcusable. If an ordinary person had committed these crimes, we believe the case would have been closed months ago," she continued. Instead, State Attorney General Jason Ravnsborg ran our brother down and then used his position, knowledge, and resources to selfishly string this case along and more importantly widen and deepen the wounds of our loss. "We feel that at no point has the defendant shown any remorse and has instead demonstrated callousness with respect to the life he took and the victim's family and friends." She also accused Ravnsborg of an arrogance toward the law he as an attorney general is supposed to uphold. "He has betrayed the morals and values he possesses to stand for," she said while complaining that the family has never had the chance to face the attorney general due to his lack of appearances in court. Jane Bover said a couple of fines were completely inadequate punishments for her brother's death. "I lost the love of my life," said Jennifer Bover, the victim's wife. "Joseph was a highly intelligent man and a caring man who was also known for his compassion as a career nurse," she added. "His actions are incomprehensible, inexcusable, and cannot be forgiven," Jennifer Bover added with reference to Ravnsborg. She said she was financially burdened by the loss of her husband and that her own college plans were derailed by the deadly crash. Jennifer Bover also said she believed any normal person would already be in jail. "He broke his own laws."
Music TV.
Ways for you to run my cash.
Check reparation. Check reparation. Check reparation. Check reparation. Check reparation. Check reparation. Check reparation.
Tryna bring it back, 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 back. Tryna bring it back, 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 back. Tryna bring it back, back, back.
I bring it back like I took it from the premises. I bring it back like it's stolen from my nemesis. I bring it back. Shawty bang my line. You can holler at me later. Shawty bang my line. Shawty bang my line. Bang my line. You can holler at me later. Shawty bang my line. You can catch me on the book or DM me at IG. Consider me. Look, I don't play with this shit. You don't even know what I gave to this shit. Self-made with this shit. I slay with this shit. Been a lot of roads I done paved with this shit. Look.
Taking flight, changing life in one night. By 2 a.m. if you do it right. Up late like nigga night. Small fish, big appetite. Get an extra 4 if you whip it right. Got good gas and it's light bright. Got big balls and a good pipe. One call it inside.
Wave that you could just go and say. This is a possible way for me to go and lay. Man, I knew it was something, couldn't ignore it. It was faith, it was faith. I was in the image and I definitely belong here. And now that I'm here, I'ma change.
Yeah, I'm an animal, red gorilla. I eat your dog, your poochie. Get what you're gonna get, front and center.
Which I grew up living life, which I knew. Standing on my toes, graduated with my honors. TPC scientific, getting to what's the plan? C, throw the kickback, zip, sack, throwing kicks on, get the applause.